Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing, Inc.
Non-nationals advised to leave the hurricane-battered British Virgin Islands. Our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Wednesday, September 13 from the CMC News Center in Bridgetown. I'm Ricardo Roberts. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. A senior British Virgin Islands government official is encouraging non-nationals who can't find work after the damage caused by Hurricane Irma to leave the British overseas territory. Vincent Wheatley, the Sister Islands Program Coordinator in the Deputy Governor's Office, made the call even as several CARICOM nationals were among other non-BVI nationals being housed in a community centre that had been stripped of its roofing shingles. The building is at risk of being flooded if it rains. Only the woodwork on the roof, which was damaged in some areas, is protecting the occupants from the elements. Wheatley told CMC News that about 100 people remain in shelters on the island, which has a population of 3,500, and many of them are expatriates.
So far we have evacuations to many America and the European countries through helicopter service as well as boat service to Puerto Rico every single day. We had none to the Eastern Caribbean country because Leah hasn't been able to fly. But we've been told that by Thursday or Friday of this week, Leah plans to start its service to the Antigua and St. Vincent and to the rest of the Caribbean. We're going to encourage all nationals who can't survive here, who can't find work, to please go back to respective countries and come back at a later date. Those that are willing to stay and stick it out with us, we encourage those able-bodied persons to please stay and help us rebuild.
Meantime, life in another British overseas territory affected by Irma, Anguilla, is beginning to return to normalcy. A number of government offices have opened their doors. CMC's Nicole Best is on the ground and files this report.
A number of government offices on Anguilla opened their doors on Wednesday as cleanup operations continue following the devastation of Hurricane Irma 1 week ago. The Inland Revenue, Pension, Customs and Immigration departments have reopened their doors, providing limited services with a view to expanding as early as next week. The airport operations are still limited to small craft and large crafts carrying relief supplies, while the Road Bay port is also open but only for relief items. Education officials met on Wednesday and will make an official announcement as to when schools will resume. Unofficial reports, however, suggest that efforts are being made to have schools reopened within the first 2 weeks in October. UK Foreign Minister Boris Johnson visited the island on Tuesday and Wednesday and toured the devastated areas, including the Princess Alexandra Hospital, which was badly damaged by the Category 5 hurricane. Parliament will meet Thursday afternoon to pass a bill for customs exemption on items related to hurricane relief efforts. Reporting from Anguilla, Nicole Best, CMC News.
Barbudans who were evacuated to Antigua after Hurricane Irma's blow to the island are pleading with Prime Minister Gaston Brown to allow them to return home and begin the restoration process. The island has been declared uninhabitable, with 95% of properties destroyed by Hurricane Irma's 185-mile-per-hour winds. One resident made his voice heard at a town hall meeting, asking the Prime Minister not to exclude them from the process of planning assistance for those affected.
We have heard the plan, and I'm sure those of you who have put forward the plan, to you it is a lovely plan. You are planning for me, my grandchildren. Do you see what's wrong with that? I want to be heard. I want to be a part of whatever is planned for us. Let us start at the beginning. We need to clean up We need to repair. We need to restore our homes, our Barbudan community. No one can do that except us. We are grateful for any help that we can get, but do not exclude us from the procedure, because we are the focus. It is our tribulation. We are feeling it.
Initial estimates for rebuilding Barbuda have been put at over $200 million US. Prime Minister Brown says no one is trying to keep Barbudans out of their island. They are just trying to ensure safety for all.
So we understand very clearly that you want to get back home. And we will ensure that you get back home as soon as practicable, taking into consideration your safety and your security, and to make sure too that there are no impending health issues. Because God forbid, and one of you contract any contagious disease, it could not only spread through the Barbudan population, but through the Antiguan population. So in as much as we are seeking to facilitate early movement, we must be responsible. And there must be responsibility by all, by Barbudans, by Antiguans, to make sure that we mitigate against those potential risks.
CARICOM Chairman, Grenadian Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell says the regional grouping will undertake a major initiative to support reconstruction efforts in islands battered by Hurricane Irma. The commitment came after he and CARICOM Secretary General Ambassador Erwin LaRocque on Tuesday joined a team from the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, CDEMA, to get a first-hand look at the havoc wreaked by the ferocious Category 5 system on Anguilla and the British Virgin Islands. Speaking to BVI Premier Orlando Smith after touring the islands, Ambassador LaRocque said they were shocked at the devastation they saw and intend to stand by the British Overseas Territories, which are associate members of CARICOM, to help them get back on their feet again.
It's mind-boggling what we saw coming in. We watched Irma approach you, and we saw what was happening. We saw when I went to the capital, we were concerned. We meet every day with CDEMA and watch this thing happen to you. So we have a sense, but now to see it on the ground is something else. The pictures don't. Pictures tell you something, but to pass through it and it's something else. The entire community is with you. There's no doubt about that. We're getting calls about how to assist. CDEMAs and the international partners are with us. Many of them, the UN, the EU, are with us every day, gathering resources, whether it's manpower as the initial response would be, and then supplies being staged in Antigua and others coming more directly, I believe, from other places. And we're going to continue working with you right to the very end when we rebuild.
Ambassador LaRocque adds that more donors will also be coming on board.
One of the things that the heads have mandated us to do is to work with all the affected countries as soon as you're ready, and we have to come to assist you to be ready to have a donors conference. That will bring all the parties together to try and match your needs. And we'll have to plan for that very well. After the initial period, we would have to know when is the right time. We'll coordinate through CDEMA and people like Stephen O'Malley and others to pull together. I understand that the World Bank, I think Stephen, you mentioned the World Bank is coming on soon enough for initial response, and CDB has come forward and others. But we need to have a comprehensive donors conference at some point. But in the meantime, the emergency supplies are coming, the private sectors are mobilizing as well to bring resources, donations on as well.
Meantime, the destruction caused by Irma in St. Martin and the British Virgin Islands has created some benefits for Dominica's cruise industry. Because the hurricane severely damaged the infrastructure in those two territories, the Carnival Fascination cruise ship had to divert and instead called on Dominica on Tuesday. The visit came well ahead of the official October 23rd start of the island's cruise season. Tourism and Urban Renewal Minister Robert Tong says he's not sure how many other cruise ships would be diverted to Dominica, but the island was ready to receive them. The Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association has also advised its members to use the opportunity to put their best foot forward and provide world-class service that would leave a lasting impression and justify return visits. Coming up in Caribbean Newsline, concerned that the large number of Venezuelans living in Trinidad and Tobago could be a threat to national security. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
In a place where legends start, the beach is just the beginning. So live a little for the exhilaration and the color of every moment, where time is and life is a spirited event. Immerse yourself in the culture, the music, the people, the island. Love Antigua and Barbuda. Embrace an experience that leaves you breathless, from cricket to sailing week to carnival and more. Antigua and Barbuda, the beach is just the beginning.
The government of Dominica and Discover Dominica Authority welcomes you to the most unique Caribbean island, Dominica. Bristle of life with energy, Dominica enraptures you in the vibrancy of the 20th edition of the World Creole Music Festival, October 27th, 28th and 29th. Windsor Bank Sports Stadium, Roseau, Dominica, featuring Marshall Montano, Sweet Mickey, Movado, Kalasha, Bungie and Fayan, Class, Sakai, Zuko Stars, Roman Virgo, Itana, Issa Banton, Triple K International, Yemi Holiday, Music All Stars, Reeve, Swinging Stars, and more. Be part of the spectacle. This is the World Creole Music Festival, held in the nature island of the world, Dominica. Season tickets US 125 or 325 EC. Nightly tickets US 48 or 120 EC. Visit DominicaFestivals.com, where you will yearn for more. Say Musicanu.
Dominica. Have you or someone you know been diagnosed with diabetes? If so, it is important that you know about Glucerna. Glucerna is a nutritional supplement for people with diabetes and contains Carb Steady, which helps minimize blood sugar spikes. Manage your diabetes with Glucerna. Glucerna, nutrition for people with diabetes, designed for you.
An estimated 40,000 plus legal and illegal Venezuelans are estimated to be in Trinidad and Tobago. It was one of the numbers discussed as stakeholders met at the University of the West Indies to look at the crisis in Venezuela. And a former director of International Relations Institute has cautioned that this is a national security threat.
Estimates are about 40,000 Venezuelans in the country. There's no authority that has an actual figure, again, based on the fact that, you know, we have porous borders and there isn't any one way to know what the actual figures are.
Rochelle Nakit says this figure was available through immigration and represents an estimated number of both legal and illegal Venezuelan nationals in TNT as of May 2017. It's a number she must keep at the back of her mind. She's a humanitarian and coordinator of the Living Waters Ministry for Migrants and Refugees. But she says the 40,000 is not reflected in the numbers knocking at their doors seeking asylum. Of the 671 asylum seekers in TNT, 149 were from Venezuela, and 15 of those have been recognized.
The Cubans actually still remain the number one group of persons seeking asylum. However, we do expect that by the end of the year it's going to plateau with the Venezuelans, and by early next year we believe there'll be a spike and Venezuelans will become the number one group of persons seeking asylum in Trinidad, that is.
There are some who believe this influx could become a major problem for countries like Trinidad, with its own share of problems.
Saying that with migrants come a number of problems, right? Migrants are used as drug mules. Migrants are exploited for human trafficking, right? Migrants bring all sorts of problems. If they are not monitored and checked properly, they bring all sorts of various things into the country.
Dr. Gonzalez explains over the Chavez era, Venezuela saw a significant spike in all types of crime, especially organized crime.
It is not passing strains that at the same time, over that same period, crime has grown significantly in this country. And I think we need to wake up and smell the coffee.
That report from CNC3's Avashi Tiwari Rupnarayan. Still in the Twin Island Republic, state-owned oil company Petrotrin is investigating a discrepancy in the amount of oil it received from one of its operators. It follows claims by the opposition leader that Petrotrin paid a financier of the ruling People's National Movement more than $11 million for fake oil. Former Energy Minister Kevin Ramnarine and Oilfield Workers Trade Union's President Ansel Roger both agree that an independent investigation into the scandal should be conducted. But the union boss took issue with Ramnarine's statements that during his tenure as Minister of Energy, he tried to rectify lease-out arrangements at Petrotrin. We get more in this report from Nisha John Mohammed of TV6 News.
Ramnarine says the fake oil scandal at Petrotrin is not new, but this is the first time it has been done on such a large scale. The red flag, he says, came when the company A&V Oil and Gas Limited cut back on their production by almost 70% when the investigation started.
What you would have seen was a sudden decline in the production of the said company at the point when the investigation started. And that is what, to me, because I track these numbers very carefully I track all the numbers in the industry in Trinidad. To me, that was a red flag. Your production collapses by almost 60–70% at the point when the investigation starts. So it says that, there was something untoward happening there.
Meanwhile, OWTU's President Ansel Roger criticized the ex-minister, saying he did nothing to stamp out corruption at Petrotrin. What he did do, he says, was embrace the system even more. He says now that it's benefiting the other side, the opposition has taken issue.
I listened to one Kevin Ramnarine, the former minister, whom we complained to incessantly about that system. He tried to change the conversation to one of wages, when in fact he is also to be held accountable for his tenure as Minister of Energy. When we complained to him, you know what they did, Hayden? The only minister who tried to reduce the company's dependency on that system is one Carolyn Sipasad Bechan.
Roger says what is disturbing is the fact that the current Minister of Energy, Franklin Khan, was praising the said operator mere weeks ago. But the OWTU boss says now the minister is singing a different tune, saying he doesn't know anything about this scandal and will not intervene. Roger said what is even more troubling is the fact that Minister Khan refuses to call the fraud squad in and conduct an independent investigation.
Yeah, I find it strange, passing strange, Hayden, that the minister, the current minister now, who not too long ago was praising up the same particular lease operator for increasing production. Could you imagine that? He was praising them up and holding that out as the answer to Petrotrin's model of production.
And ahead in Newsline Sport, West Indies to become the first international team to play in Pakistan since 2009. Stay with us. Sport is next.
In a place where legends start, the beach is just the beginning. So live a little for the exhilaration and the colour of every moment, where time is and life is a spirited event. Immerse yourself in the culture, the music, the people, the island. Love Antigua and Barbuda. Embrace an experience that leaves you breathless, from cricket to sailing week to carnival and more. Antigua and Barbuda, the beach is just the beginning.
Do you want a real Barbadian experience with peace and tranquility? A home away from home feeling? Come and stay at Best E Villas. We offer 2 amazing locations to choose from, Prospect St. James or Christchurch. Plan a staycation for your anniversary, birthdays, summer or winter breaks, or any special event. Best E Villas is located in close proximity to our lovely beaches. Call us now at 246-425-9751 or visit us at bestevillas.com and make your booking for the best in villas.
Have you or someone you know been diagnosed with diabetes? If so, it is important that you know about Glucerna. Glucerna is a nutritional supplement for people with diabetes and contains Carb Steady, which helps minimize blood sugar spikes. Manage your diabetes with Glucerna. Glucerna, nutrition for people with diabetes, designed for you.
The Pakistan Cricket Board has confirmed a 3-match T20 series against West Indies set for Lahore in late November. The PCB and Cricket West Indies had been in talks over the proposed series, but PCB Chairman Najam Sethi said the tour has been now finalized and a detailed schedule will be announced shortly. Cricket West Indies announced last month it was in discussions with the PCB over the staging of the series in Pakistan, but it said the 3 matches would be subject to the safe conclusion of the ICC World 11 Teams 3-match series in Lahore in September and an affirmation of manageable security by the ICC-sponsored international security company overseeing the security arrangements of the World 11. Now, the World 11 series against host Pakistan started Tuesday and wraps up on Friday. Sethi said the series against West Indies represented a major breakthrough and would pave the way for the PCB to negotiate with other teams to tour Pakistan. Now, once the Windies series comes to fruition, it will mark the first time a leading international side has toured Pakistan since 2009 when militants attacked a bus carrying the Sri Lanka team, injuring several players and killing 6 Pakistani police officers and 2 civilians. Rain forced the abandonment of the one-off one-day international between Ireland and West Indies without a ball being bowled on Wednesday. A wet outfield caused by heavy overnight rain had initially delayed the start, but the rains eventually returned just before a scheduled inspection at 1:30 p.m. that's 8:30 a.m. Eastern Caribbean time, forcing officials to call off the contest. Umpires carried out 3 inspections, but parts of the outfield remain unfit for play, even though sunny weather prevailed for most of the morning. West Indies are already in danger of failing to qualify automatically for the 2019 Cricket World Cup in England. They are currently 9th in the ODI rankings, with host England along with the remaining top 7 teams gaining automatic qualification. They needed to beat Ireland in order to assume the 8th spot in the rankings. West Indies selectors have retained all 17 players from the failed World Cup campaign for a 10-day training camp ahead of the upcoming series against Sri Lanka women. Brittany Cooper, who was surprisingly overlooked for the World Cup trip, has been added to the contingent, which will be in camp in Trinidad from September 25 to October 4. Chief Selector Courtney Brown said the region's limited player pool meant heavy importance was being placed on training camps in order to determine final selection. While Cooper has been called up, experienced fellow Trinidadian Stacey Ann King remains in the wilderness. The 34-year-old has played 66 one-day internationals and 76 T20Is. Fast bowlers Shakira Selman and Shamila Connell have been included in the training squad subject to medical clearance after both were forced out of the World Cup with injury. Brown said selectors would be looking to identify certain qualities during the camp in an attempt to move the team forward. 2 veteran cricketers in the Cayman Islands are calling for major changes in the developmental programs for young players. Their call comes on the heels of the national team finishing 8th at a recent ICC World Cricket Divisional Tournament. The White brothers, David and Chris, believe something is fundamentally wrong in the administration of cricket and something needs to be done to resuscitate it.
I'm talking as a former Cayman national cricket player, and I am really disappointed, and I'm upset, and I'm embarrassed.
Sports counselor David White on Cayman's winless performance in South Africa, pointing to grassroots initiatives.
We are having a serious problem in Cayman getting the younger players to get interested in cricket.
Former national player and brother Chris White points to a change in leadership.
Since Theo was fired, there has been no youth cricket. There's been no cricket teams at the under 13, under 15, under 17, under 19 levels. There's no youth cricket, and we cannot continue, or we cannot succeed, or we cannot develop without youth cricket.
Cayman sports counselor says the current team lacks the passion of years before.
I, as a cricketer, I know that whenever I put on my shirt to go represent Cayman, I had pride, I performed, I put in effort, I would die on that field for Cayman. I don't see that now.
Cayman's Conroy Wright, who played in South Africa, says this isn't about effort. It's about other countries playing more international matches.
You know, they play a good level of cricket, and these guys now is like play most of their cricket in Cayman. So it not really developed that much, you know, because the pool here is small and the competition not strong enough.
Regardless of their record or lack of youth development, Cayman cricket is back where it started.
Until we can get professional where we can practice all day and so on, then I don't think we will go any further.
Outside the World Cricket League, looking in.
And that's the sports. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Barbados, renowned for its pristine beachfront and fantastic weather, continues to leave quite an impression on newcomers to the island and returning visitors. The Caribbean island, quite popular as a vacation hotspot, is not only beautiful due to its natural aesthetics. The island of Barbados continues to grow in popularity because of unique connections developed with our people, our culture. We can't wait to welcome you.
Grow your business or promote your event through the services offered by the Caribbean Media Corporation and CaribVision. Our distribution provides a platform on cable, terrestrial television, and websites. We cover carnivals and events from across the region. We can bring your event live and alive to the world. For music makers, program producers, businesses, we can expand your reach to in excess of 2 million households daily. Our other services include news updates to enhance your media products, studio space for program and development. We can facilitate the launch of new products and services and training. Contact us and we will help you unleash your creative ability, develop products and services, and provide the medium to watch them grow. Contact Loretta Skeet at cmccaribbean.com or call her 1-246-467-1044 or 1-246-253-3889. Call and book your carnival or event today. Business or promote your event through the services offered by the Caribbean Media Corporation and CaribVision. Our distribution provides a platform on cable, terrestrial television, and websites. We cover carnivals and events from across the region. We can bring your event live and alive to the world. For music makers, program producers, businesses, we can expand your reach to in excess of 2 million households daily. Our other services include news updates to enhance your media products, studio space for program and development. We can facilitate the launch of new products and services and training. Contact us and we will help you unleash your creative ability, develop products and services, and provide the medium to watch them grow. Contact Loretta Skeet at cmccaribbean.com or call her 1-246-467-1044 or 1-246-253-3889. Call and book your carnival or...
Again, the major developments of this day. Non-nationals advised to leave the hurricane-battered British Virgin Islands. And in sport, international cricket returns to Pakistan with the West Indies scheduled to play a 3-match T20 series in Lahore in late November. That's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sports round the clock, log on to CanadaNews.com. Good night.